Oh, hello. Sitting here driving down the road with my granddaughter in the back. Layla, look around the corner so they can see you in the camera. You gotta be able to see right here. Well, she's back there. She don't want to be seen, so she gotta turn her head around. But I'm sitting here driving down the road with my granddaughter getting ready to go to the store. And it occurs to me, this song that's on the radio is my Uncle John singing. And the words are, he cares for you. You may be black, you may be white, it doesn't make any difference in God's sight. He cares for you. Look, Jesus cares about what's going on in your life. God cares. And you can say, well, I'm going through this, why is it so hard, why is it so bad, why am I having a hard time? It seems like God doesn't care. Oh no, He cares. But what we have to understand is very simple, man. God cares about everyone, but He can't interfere. You see, if He interferes, then He's got to interfere with everyone, and there goes free will. There's a special caveat there where He has the right to interfere, and you say, well, what gives God the right? Well, it's simple. In the Bible, God says in the beginning He created the heavens, earth, man, all these things, but then He says something peculiar. I think it's like in the 3rd chapter of Genesis, I forget exactly which chapter, the very beginning, He says to somebody, He said, remember, let them make man in our image. He says that to somebody, let us make man in our image. Well, the us and our means that someone else is there. And we Christians believe that's Jesus. It's called the theophany. In other words, an appearance of Jesus in the Old Testament is how best we can explain that. But then He says something else to that person. He says, and let them have dominion over the earth. So He created man and then told someone, let them have dominion over the earth. Let man be in charge of the earth. Man is going to be running that show. Now we're going to send him an instruction manual. We're going to give him the conscience and the spirit. We're going to give him all the advice and all the rules and tell him how best to live his life. But ultimately, he's got to live it according to how he chooses. You see, in order to have good things, you got to have bad things. In order to have a choice for positive, you have to have a choice for negative. In order to have a choice to do good, you have to be able to choose to do bad. In order to have a choice to do well, you got to be able to make choices that make it not so well. So we get caught up thinking God doesn't care because we're in all kinds of problems, and the reality is He does. He cares so much for you that He wants to make sure that you choose, that I choose, that we choose. So don't be fooled into believing God doesn't care because you're going through hell. You know, Jesus said, I stand at the door and I knock, and anyone who answers it, I'll come in. Another way to look at that is no matter where you are, no matter how far you've gone, no matter how bad you've done, no matter where you are in your life, He's right there. Now, He's not inside that door to your heart, so to speak, that He's knocking on, but He's right there and He's knocking. And it's very clear that if you open the door, then you give Him permission to take your life and start changing you and start helping you make better decisions and lead you to a better life. You see, it's let them have dominion over the earth means that God put you and me in charge of our own lives. Now, we can get around that by simply saying, okay, you put me in charge, then because I have the right to decide, I decide to give my life to you. I decide to live by your rules. I decide to live by what you say is best. You see, that's when He is able to move. That's when He's able to do things in our life, because He said to Jesus, or He said to whoever was in heaven when He created man, let them have dominion over it. He was giving us the power, and then when we say, since you let me have the power, I'm going to give that power right back to you. Okay? And it is there where we find help. It's there where we find comfort. It's there where we find growth. Now let's be clear. If you rob a bank, God will forgive you, but you still got to go to jail. If you eat all kinds of junk food and you get fat like me, well, God says, look, you're temple of the Holy Spirit. You're not doing what you're supposed to, so you're going to suffer with the pains and the back pains and all these other pains and maybe a 20% less lifespan. You see, because these are the choices I've made, and we have to pay for those choices. But what God says is this, what the Bible teaches us is this, is that even though you messed up and God forgives you, while you're going through what that choice, bad choice or bad decision made, while you're going through that, the ramifications of your choices, God's right there with you. And He cares for you. He never stopped caring, and He never will stop caring. So remember that. He does care. Hope you enjoyed Jerry's commentary. Have a good day. Bye-bye.